Right now, as you're watching this video, there's a massive construction project being planned that will consume the same amount of electricity as 7.5 million homes. It's not a city, it's not a country's infrastructure, it's a single AI data center. And the companies building it just committed $100 billion to make it happen. But here's what's really wild. They're doing this because without it, we might have to choose between using AI to cure cancer or providing free education to every child on Earth. We literally don't have enough computing power for both. Hey everyone, welcome back to Artificial Fluency Technology. I'm here to break down what's actually happening in the AI world right now, beyond all the hype and fear-mongering you see everywhere else. Today we're diving into a briefing that synthesizes insights from the CEOs of OpenAI, Anthropic, and NVIDIA, plus former Google CEO Eric Schmidt. And honestly, after reading through this, I'm not sure if we should be more excited or terrified about what's coming. Let's start with this mind-blowing partnership between OpenAI and NVIDIA. They're planning to build a 10-gigawatt AI data center. To put that in perspective, 1 gigawatt is what a nuclear power plant produces. 10 gigawatts could power Switzerland. Jensen Huang from NVIDIA calls this the largest information processing project in history. And you know what? I believe him. This isn't just about building bigger computers. This is about creating the infrastructure for what they're calling artificial superintelligence. Now, here's where it gets interesting from a business perspective. The math doesn't quite add up the way you'd expect. Normally, a 1 gigawatt data center costs about $50 to $60 billion. So logically, a 10 gigawatt facility should cost $500 to $600 billion, right? But they're doing it for $100 billion. Either they've figured out some incredible cost efficiencies or, and this is just my speculation, NVIDIA is essentially getting paid in stock price increases. Think about it. Announce a $100 billion investment, watch your stock price surge, and suddenly you've made back that investment without spending actual cash. It's brilliant, if that's what's happening. The first phase goes online in late 2026 with something called the Vera Rubin platform. And honestly, the names these tech companies choose always crack me up. Naming AI infrastructure after an astronomer who studied dark matter, that's either really clever or slightly ominous. But here's the problem that's keeping these executives awake at night. Electricity. Eric Schmidt dropped this bombshell. The US needs 92 gigawatts of additional power by 2030 just to keep up with AI data centers. That's like building 92 nuclear power plants in 6 years. Meanwhile, China installed 190 gigawatts of renewable energy last year alone. Just last year. That's more than the entire current capacity of most countries. And this is where the geopolitics get really interesting. Schmidt thinks the US will win the AI race, mainly because both Trump and Biden administrations have successfully restricted China's access to advanced chips. But China's not sitting around waiting. They're dominating in hardware and robotics. There's this Chinese company, Unitree, selling robots for $16,000 that Schmidt thinks will achieve global dominance. And here's what I find fascinating. Dario Amodei from Anthropic called selling advanced chips to China completely crazy. Meanwhile, NVIDIA can't sell to China's $50 billion AI market anymore. This isn't just competition. It's economic warfare disguised as tech policy. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. What this means for regular people like us. And honestly, the predictions from these industry leaders are all over the place. Dario Amodei predicts 50% of white-collar jobs could disappear within 1 to 5 years. That's not jobs will change. That's jobs will vanish. He's talking about unemployment potentially hitting 10 to 20%. But then Jensen Huang says something completely different. He thinks AI will make us all more productive, and while every job will change, people will remain very busy. Though he doesn't really explain what this new busy looks like. Here's my honest take. I think they're both right, just talking about different timescales. Amodei is probably correct about the short-term disruption. When ChatGPT can write better marketing copy than most marketing professionals, when AI can analyze legal documents faster than junior lawyers, when it can diagnose medical images more accurately than radiologists. Yeah, those jobs are in trouble. But Huang might be right about the long term. We've seen this before with automation. ATMs didn't eliminate bank tellers. There are actually more bank tellers now than before ATMs existed. But their jobs changed completely. The difference this time? The speed. Previous industrial revolutions took decades. This one is happening in real time. And then there's the existential risk conversation. Amodei estimates a 20 to 25% chance that AI behaves dangerously and, in his words, leads to the destruction of humanity. Let me be clear, this isn't some sci-fi fantasy. This is the CEO of one of the leading AI companies saying there's a 1 in 4 chance we're building something that could end civilization. That's unsettling. But Eric Schmidt has a different set of concerns. He's not worried about robot uprisings. He's worried about 3 immediate threats: misinformation, cybercrime, and bioweapons. Especially bioweapons, he says AI could make it undetectably easy to create novel biological weapons. And here's what really got my attention. Schmidt is less concerned about big companies like OpenAI and Anthropic and more worried about open-source AI groups operating in the shadows. Think about DeepSeek or other groups developing powerful AI without the same safety constraints or oversight. That actually makes sense to me. Big corporations have reputations, shareholders, and regulations to worry about. Some anonymous group releasing a powerful AI model, they have none of those constraints. While we're debating the future, AI is already transforming how we create and interact. There's this short film called Skyland that was created entirely with AI tools, starting from a single image in Midjourney and turning it into a hyper-realistic fantasy film. A few years ago, that would have taken a Hollywood studio millions of dollars and months of work. Now, one person with AI tools can create cinematic quality content from their bedroom. But it gets weirder. Meta just launched an AI dating assistant called Meet Cute, integrated into Facebook Dating. It helps you find matches, improve your profile, gives you flirting tips. We're literally outsourcing romance to algorithms now. And there's this tool called Animate Anything that can replace any actor in a video with anyone else using just a single photograph. The implications for deepfakes and synthetic media are staggering. Here's where it gets really futuristic. Remember that energy crisis I mentioned? Well, these companies aren't just sitting around waiting for more coal plants. They're betting big on nuclear fusion. Commonwealth Fusion Systems, backed by NVIDIA, Google, and Bill Gates, just signed a $1 billion deal to supply electricity from a 400-megawatt fusion reactor in the early 2030s. Their first reactor, Spark, is 65% complete and expected to be operational in 2026. Now, I've heard fusion promises before. We've been 20 years away from fusion for about 50 years now. But when you see this much money from these tech giants flowing into fusion research, it makes you wonder if we're actually close to a breakthrough. Before we dive into what this all means for the future, if you're finding this breakdown valuable, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the tech that's actually changing our world. So, where does this leave us? Here's my honest assessment. We're living through the fastest technological transformation in human history. The $100 billion data center isn't just about better chatbots. It's infrastructure for a world where AI handles most cognitive work. The energy race isn't just about keeping the lights on. It's about which country controls the future economy. The job displacement predictions might sound scary, but I think we're missing the bigger picture. Yes, many current jobs will disappear, but we're also creating entirely new categories of work. AI trainers, prompt engineers, AI ethicists, human-AI collaboration specialists, these didn't exist 5 years ago. What worries me more is the concentration of power. When building competitive AI requires $100 billion data centers, only a handful of companies and countries can play the game. That's very different from previous tech revolutions where small startups could compete. The US-China dynamic is particularly fascinating. The US currently leads in software and high-end AI, but China's advantages in energy production and manufacturing are real. While we're debating chip restrictions, China is building the physical infrastructure for an AI-powered economy. Schmidt's prediction that the US will win feels optimistic to me. Sure, we've slowed China's access to our latest chips, but they're not standing still. They're developing their own chip manufacturing, their own AI models, and their own applications. And they have a massive advantage in implementation. No lengthy regulatory processes, no public debates about privacy. They can deploy AI systems at scale much faster than we can. For those of us watching this unfold, what should we actually do? First, stop thinking of AI as something that's coming eventually. It's here. The tools available right now, ChatGPT, Claude, Midjourney, coding assistants, these aren't previews of future technology. They're the baseline. The real revolution hasn't even started yet. Second, if you're in a knowledge worker job, start experimenting with AI tools now. Not to replace yourself, but to understand how to work with them. The people who thrive in this transition won't be those who resist AI, but those who figure out how to leverage it. Third, develop skills that are uniquely human. Creativity, emotional intelligence, complex problem solving that requires understanding nuance and context. At least for now, these are harder for AI to replicate. Look, I can't predict exactly how this plays out. Maybe we get the utopian future where AI solves climate change, cures diseases, and creates abundance for everyone. Maybe we get the dystopian timeline, where 25% of humanity loses their jobs and we're all competing with machines for relevance. Most likely, we get something messier and more complex. A world where AI creates incredible opportunities and serious challenges simultaneously. Where the benefits aren't distributed equally. Where some people thrive and others struggle to adapt. But here's what I know for certain. Ignoring this transformation won't make it go away. The $100 billion data centers are getting built. The AI models are getting trained. The applications are being deployed. We can either understand what's happening and position ourselves accordingly, or we can be surprised by it. And honestly, despite the risks, despite the uncertainty, I'm cautiously optimistic. Yes, there will be disruption. Yes, there will be challenges. But the potential upside, AI helping us solve problems that have plagued humanity for centuries, that's worth the risk. What do you think? Are you more excited or worried about this AI revolution? Let me know in the comments below. And if this breakdown was helpful, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the technology that's reshaping our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.